Instagram was created by Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger in 2010. Both graduated from Stanford University, where they met.
We barely knew each other in college. I had just lost my job and wanted to start something on my own so I wouldn't have to depend on anyone. I met Mike at a coffee shop. It was he who hacked the project, and I understood. He hacked this project coolly. He looks really smart.
Kevin, an Anglo-Saxon from a wealthy family, got acquainted with the world of IT as a child. As a 12-year-old teenager, he was already creating levels for the second part of Doom. Kevin began his career as a programmer at Odeon, now known as Twitter. At the same time, in 2005, he met Mark Zuckerberg, who invited him to leave his senior year at Stanford to develop a photo service for Facebook. Kevin rejected the offer. Systrom did not yet know that Mark would take his own, but more on that later.
I went to the bar where investors were gathering. People just showed prototypes of their ideas on their phones. So I showed our idea to one of them. His name was Steve Anderson, and he became our first investor.
Steve Anderson, one of the most successful investors in Silicon Valley, ranks second on the list of Meadows, an annual ranking of the most effective investors in the field of technology. It was Anderson, as an investor, who wrote the first check for $250,000 and set a condition for Kevin to find a partner. So he was joined by Mike Krieger, who previously worked at Meebo as a front-end developer.
We started in a small co-working space of the Dogpatch Laboratory, located on the pier in San Francisco. It was cold, late at night. I remember getting dressed and seeing Mike pull on a giant parka with fur around his head. I could see his breathing as he coded. It was hard.
The first project was called Bourbon, a geolocation network with the ability to process photos. The launch of the application failed miserably, barely gaining 1,000 users. After another meeting with investors in July 2010, the team decided to change their approach. Add filters for photos and likes and comments, just like on Facebook. Here is the first post on Instagram. Systrom published a photo of his own dog and signed it Test. The new application was named Instagram from the words instant and telegram, that is, instant telegram. In the first day, it was downloaded thousands of times, and the servers simply could not stand it. The Instagram logo, one of the most famous application icons, was drawn in 45 minutes when Apple decided to bring the social network to the main page of the App Store. The only condition at that time was to send the icon within an hour. The prototype of the logo was the image of the Polaroid camera, but designer Cole Race added a rainbow and the abbreviation INST. Over the years, the logo has evolved into the familiar pink icon.
We sat and watched how to cross 1,999,900, and bang! Million. And we are like, did we really do it? Did this really happen? Who are all these people?
And influencers and celebrities began to register on Instagram almost immediately. Snoop Dogg, Justin Bieber, who wanted $30,000 for his registration but was refused. Even the Pope pledged. Watching Pope Francis post his first photo on Instagram today was incredible. Francisco, welcome to the Instagram community. Your messages of humility, compassion, and mercy will leave a lasting mark. In 2011, just a year after its launch, the project became the best app of the year in the App Store. In April 2012, a version for Android appeared. It was downloaded more than 1 million times in a day. On Facebook, it took about 4 years to achieve similar indicators. Zuckerberg definitely couldn't sleep peacefully.
Facebook was scared. They weren't going to learn anything on Instagram. Zuckerberg went for the deal because the rapid growth of Instagram's base made him worried. Let Instagram only emerge as a threat, it was still a threat. If your company is worth $100 billion, and it will cost only $1 billion to neutralize a potential competitor, why not take such a step?
In the end, Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion in April 2012. The founders remained in the project for a long time. Kevin Systrom remained the executive director of the service, and Mike Krieger became the head of the engineering department.
Kevin Systrom, when asked why he sold Instagram to Facebook, said, "When someone comes and offers you $1 billion for 11 people, what do you say?"
Both left the company only in 2018. The New York Times claimed that the founders decided to leave because of the Facebook crisis. The social network was criticized for mishandling user data.
Mr. Zuckerberg, are you doing everything you can to protect your users?
87 million Facebook users have been notified that their personal data has been shared by political consulting companies.
It was a big mistake and it is my mistake and I apologize. I founded Facebook, I run the company, and I'm responsible for what's going on here.
The data leak occurred during the election campaign in the United States in 2016. Russian scientist Alexander Kogan created the This Is Your Digital Life application, which formulated psychological portraits of users. The application was used by up to 300,000 people. But Facebook also received data from the list of friends of these users. All this was received by Cambridge Analytica, and then they used everything to campaign for Donald Trump.
There are people in Russia whose job is to try to use our systems and other internet systems. So this is an arms race.
Provocative fake messages were seen by as many as 126 million users. Russia was able to brainwash American voters almost free of charge.
Fakes on social networks are the other side of the coin. If we say that social networks have a positive side, then fakes are a negative result of the large number of people who are there. And I believe that it is impossible to radically change this in the near future. We also remember that Facebook declared war against fakes, invested huge amounts of money in fact-checking, in the creation of certain departments that were responsible for the reliability of information. But nothing effective came of it, and there were curious cases when the news was noticed as fakes. They continued to leave the news feed, and after noticing the fake, even more people wanted to read what kind of news it was.
So, what's the way out? Media literacy. Learn to critically perceive information. People often find out the news from the Facebook or Instagram feed.
If we talk about social networks, they, in fact, have long become a huge platform for the media. And all tech companies denied the fact that they are media until the last moment. But the huge number of people who sit there every day and post information about themselves, and the huge amount of content that appears there, suggests that these have become some of the largest media on the planet and the most influential at the moment.
But social networks are not only an information field. Zuckerberg understood almost immediately what payment can be received for the attention of users. In 2015, Instagram first introduced a model of 30-second advertising videos that appeared in users' feeds. Over time, bloggers got involved, who realized that they could earn a lot from the trust and devotion of their own subscribers.
Everyone decides for himself what principles he has, one might say. Someone advertises everything, that is, he does not care. He really had his audience in one place, and he just makes money on it. And he recommends everything there: casino, cigarette, alcohol. He doesn't care if he has an adult audience or not. Because in reality, children, basically, they like to imitate. And if they see that their idol is doing so and so, and he's also making money, and he's so successful, then why can't I do that?
Instagram has become a source of income for millions of users and has changed the world of communication. Now almost everyone, from celebrities to small business owners, can make themselves known through the social network.
When you are not on the social network, then, in fact, we can say that you are not there at all for your audience. And recently, brands have begun to use all social networks very successfully to communicate with the audience. They can talk about their products, about themselves, some certain information. And if a company or business is not on the social network, then this can cause the opposite question and add a little negativity from the audience itself.
To be heard, celebrities, brands, and bloggers don't always use the correct methods. Sometimes heavy artillery is also used.
Many people like to hype. They understand that this is a cool tool for attracting attention, for the audience to always be with you and come in, see what happened to you there today in life. And many of the bloggers come up with some fake stories that they broke up there, then they got together, then there are births at home, they film it all. And you think, damn it, what am I watching?
But they keep watching, even when they are being fooled. For example, blogger Amelia Liana, with an audience of 500,000 published fake travel photos. subscribers noticed that for some reason there is no Freedom Tower, built back in 2013, in the photo where Liana is allegedly in New York. Users suggested that the girl simply photoshopped herself in a photo of the city. However, it was not successful because the photo turned out to be old, taken even before the panorama was complemented by a skyscraper. Bloggers, vloggers, and influencers flooded social media. They formed the opinion of their followers. How to eat, what to wear this spring, where to go on a trip, what repairs to make in an apartment, who to vote for and how to react to a particular event.
It's like a kind of media now. Previously, everyone trusted television, but now they trust bloggers more, it seems to me, because this is your friend, whom you see every day in stories, you know how he lives, what his dog's name is. Therefore, you will probably believe his opinion faster than a good advertisement.
Such popularity and influence of bloggers have become a cause for concern in the context of ethics and transparency. Often, influencers recommend something without indicating that the collaboration is paid for.
It seems to me that Instagram has a lot of such interesting and creative people. But just for some reason, everyone signs where there are contests and drawings. So this is clearly a minus. I would say that commerce, hard commerce, deceive people for money. People there, I don't know, get involved in some pyramids because they believe bloggers.
However, you can talk about business on Instagram not only in a negative way. This is a free platform for business development. Do you want your own clothing store? Easily. Create an Instagram page without a separate site and even more so without a real online store. Rent payments, hired employees, Instagram marketing, and social network algorithms will contribute to your development.
If the company's budget is limited, it's better to use a regular social network since it's free. It is advisable to create both a website and maintain Facebook, Instagram. But at the moment, social networks should completely cover all needs from contact information, from the opening hours of a business, from goods and services to instant news delivery.
Scrolling through the feed on Instagram or Facebook, we forget that we are consuming selected content. You don't see the full picture of the world. Some of the information just falls out. It is sorted by algorithms. The feed is adjusted to your preferences, likes, comments, interests, points of view that you like.
An information bubble is a result created on both sides. First of all, people filter what they don't like, they unsubscribe from brands, from media that provide information contrary to their interests. And the other side is technological, when the algorithm itself selects what people like, what they like to read. How to break this information bubble? It seems to me that this is quite difficult. If we talk about a person, then my recommendation is that it is worth reading different views on the same events in the world. And although a little this may cause some discomfort in a person, it will still develop his horizons.
The reality is that Facebook has a lot of personal data. Your chat with a girlfriend or boyfriend, your drunken party photos. But the truth is that none of this is valuable to any marketer. They want commercial data like what products you picked, your last supermarket purchase, if diapers were on your list, if you have children, or if you're disliked at home.
One of the stories why Instagram founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger left the project is differences in views on the future of the service with owner Mark Zuckerberg. The latter began to show increased attention to the service, and according to the agreements, the developers had to retain complete freedom of action. Currently, the profiles of Instagram founders are inactive. Systrom posted his last photo in 2018, the year he retired from business.